start of a new era of the NBA. And it's there's the sort of thing that, if they manage to win the championship like this, is the sort of thing that might change the game again.
Well, quite. So
people will
Horford's
go away from the small guys that shoot threes as much. Won't have loads of those, and go more to more big guys maybe.
because what the thing has been moving everyone a position up, hasn't it? It's
Yeah,
been if you've got a two, make them into a three, and then make your three into a four, and then if you've got a power forward, either you don't exist anymore or you've got to start playing centre. And the Sixers have taken Horford, who was playing centre with the Celtics, and made him a power forward, and put
yeah.
Tobias Harris to small forward.
The
There
key
might be
is
some.
basically having a small forward slash power forward that can play point guard,
Yeah,
which is not very many of those.
no,
Like,
there are a few. There are a few at the moment. I mean,
yeah,
like Giannis is basically a point guard. LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Ben Simmons.
you could put
But
you
yeah,
could put Draymond Green in that category.
yeah, yeah. But they are, like you say, they are freaky, and they changed the
Yeah,
team athletes. Because for all of the focus on what Ben Simmons doesn't do, he's also an amazing
yeah.
defender.
It's like maybe he can't shoot as well as most point guards that you have in that position instead. But it's like if you have him up against one of those point guards a lot of the time, like they're not going to be able to shoot over him. Or
The key with him is that he can
'cause,
guard all five positions as
yeah,
well.
he's not like a big like power forward number four sort of like immobile guy, is he?
No, I mean
He's
it's basically the perfect cocktail is if you can get the size and the mobility, because there's always the risk, like when you've got Tobias Harris is the one that comes to mind on that team, but he's improved defensively this year. If you've got the size advantage, it's not always good if you've then got a guy who's quicker than you and get by
yeah,
them. But the Sixers don't have that lumbering issue
yeah.
at the
'Cause
moment, at least.
yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing with Horford as well, isn't it? Why it works so well that he can play the four and Embiid play the five. Is that both of them really are going to be able to go with the man
Yeah, yeah. Neither of them are
well.
sort of leaden-footed
No, but particularly Horford. Like
lumps.
Horford's a very, very good perimeter defender
Yeah.
for a centre really. Or yeah,
And yeah, the Celtics have only lost one game, which is sort of surprising because when I've watched them, I've not been particularly impressed. But I guess it's just some of it's just having a lot of talent. Gordon Hayward had a massive night the other night as well, which is quite cool to see.
yeah. That's huge, isn't it? But that's the big question mark. Is yeah, like how much the other guy's going to step up after Kyrie Irving's left. Basically,
Yeah,
are they going to go back into that? The roles they had before Kyrie Irving was playing, like all the time when Kyrie Irving was out and stuff. Can they go back to that? And I mean, well, Tatum's on over 20 points a game so far as well.
yeah, he was brilliant in that second half comeback against the Bucks. I just
Shooting over 40% from free and stuff,
Yeah, well, that's kind of what they're going to need from him,
and
isn't it?
attempting 7 3-pointers a game.
That's a lot.
Well, Kemba Walker's attempting 9.
Yeah, that is many, isn't it? I guess it's
I guess
partly that
they are.
they haven't had Cantor, so they haven't really even had the option to go inside.
Yeah, they've
They've
just
just been gunning from deep, and it's been coming
yeah,
off. I mean, I was just saying about them being 5-1, just to qualify it. So they lost to the Sixers on opening night. They then beat the Raptors. Well done. They beat the Knicks. Shrug. They beat the Bucks, which while Tatum was phenomenal in the second half of that game, I mainly felt like that was a Bucks collapse. The Bucks just like couldn't score a point in the second half. They just lost it completely. And then they've beaten the Knicks and the Cavs. So they've played the Knicks
yeah,
twice and played the Cavs.
yeah.
And
Just
actually
sort of doesn't count.
tonight, a few hours after we've recorded this, they're going to play they away to the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh,
So, you know,
and then it's the Spurs, which isn't that bad. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, they've looks like they've got a very easy start actually. When you look at it, considering the Warriors are actually now really bad, then they've got the Hornets, then the Spurs, then the Mavericks who have been really good, then the Wizards, and then the Warriors.
Then the Kings, and then the Suns. Who knows if the Suns will still be good by the middle of November?
Yeah, and then they've
So
got
they,
the Clippers and Nuggets, so that's where it gets hard. But like, yeah, it's until like the 20th of November, they've got like a pretty easy run there.
yeah, they should be top of
And
the conference.
they've had an easy run so far too.
Yeah, I mean wins against the Bucks and Raptors are nothing to be sniffed at.
No,
Uh, but yeah,
but
like I said, I watched that Bucks game and it felt a bit like it was sort of Milwaukee losing it. Boston were good. Their defense was really good in the second half once they got going. Some of it was a home crowd thing as well. Once they were chasing down a deficit, every bucket, the place just took off, and Milwaukee seemed to sort of shrivel under the atmosphere.
yeah. Um, there's not really that much else to say at the moment, is there?
Without diving into the Warriors, probably, or talking about Kawhi's load management, but those things have been done to death, haven't they, I suppose?
Yeah, they're probably going to remain stories throughout the whole year,
Yeah,
really, and probably become more relevant maybe as the year goes on. I don't with the Warriors. I don't even know if there's really that much to it other than, Steph Curry just got injured. I know they were bad before that, but like, you know, before he got injured, it wasn't that they hadn't played that many games, had they?
no, they'd been poor before that, but that then you could sort of leave that as settling in period or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're sort of almost irrelevant now,
yeah.
which
It
is a bit
just
mean
seems
to the player. The
ridiculous.
player. The thing is, if by giving all these guys minutes, if they find a couple of gems,
Yeah,
that's changed everything. Because
Eric,
as
Eric
Pascal,
Pascal, is that how you say it?
I think so. He
Or is it
started really well, hasn't he?
Paschal? I don't know,
I have
but
no idea.
yeah, he's been good. It looks like.
Yeah, so it's like if they get, as I think it was Brian Windhorst said it on a podcast I was listening to the other day, said about it's like this is different for the end of a dynasty because every dynasty ends in quite an ugly way usually. But unlike the Bulls or unlike the Cavs, they've got like multiple Hall of Famers coming back next season.
Yeah, yeah.
And if they end up with a high draft pick and they find one or two players here who can be really
yeah.
helpful.
It would be such a shame it's the end of it as well because not winning that other title last year would have been because of injuries too,
Yeah,
and it basically would all go down to just like cut a few freak injuries. But the other
yeah.
way to look at it, I guess, is that if they're going to get injured, being injured at the same time, maybe just having a year off.
There was someone,
It's maybe
so
a good.
again, something I was listening to, someone said that. It's like, if you're going to have your bad luck, have it all at once, like this.
Yeah,
You're
and then
basically
get
in
then get the
enforced
first overall
tanking.
pick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the best way it can happen. Because the risk, there was a risk that they ended up winning like a few games, finished in the ninth spot. Steph Curry gets battered around for a year and criticised because the team aren't winning enough games when he's playing with people who've barely played an NBA minute. And they end up with not a good draft pick. Curry's still knackered. Draymond's knackered.
Yeah,
But this scenario could end up being a stormer, couldn't it? They take like one of the top guys next year.
yeah. It looks like they've got a very good chance at the moment of being one of those top picks
Yeah, they've gone to join the Knicks, who were
in
saying they were going to make the
Tankville.
playoffs, and they have the worst record in the NBA.
Did they? Did they say that?
I don't think the
They,
Knicks actually. One of their players, I think, said
God,
something about we think we can make the playoffs.
I
Well, you
wasn't
can
being
think it.
serious, was he?
You can think it
Surely
all
he
you
didn't
like.
even believe that.
You can think as much you like, mate, but it's not going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot of L's, isn't it?
Hasn't I think it'd been good though.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's started really well, which is
and
something, I
they
suppose.
have actually at least actually got like quite a lot of like really young talent at the moment. It seems like they could go somewhere like this. This could be building. They could be building something now, maybe. But who
Yeah,
knows,
Frank
really?
Frank Nikilatina, I can never say his name properly.
Yeah,
Um,
Knox, of
Kevin,
course,
yeah,
and
you'd hope that some of these high picks they made that have looked like busts will not be busts at some
yeah,
stage. I mean, those two are the big ones, aren't they? Mitchell Robinson's already shown he can be
Dennis
like
Smith Jr. though,
he's
even. I mean, he's probably
yeah,
ahead of Nick
he's
you know,
been missing
the
time for
Belgian. Is he Belgian?
personal reasons, I think, at the moment. Dennis
Don't,
Smith.
yeah, but I assume when he's back he'll be playing, won't he? Quite a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
He'll be their starting point guard probably.
yeah, he will. But there's kind of, I mean, at some point these guys have got to actually be good, haven't they?
Yeah, but I mean they are
They've
all
had quite a lot
they
of
have got
time.
quite a lot of them that are very young still. Like Knox
Yeah.
is only 20. It's Archibald's first year.
The hard thing with some of these guys though is when you see how well Barrett started,
Yeah,
and he was very much the third best player in last year's draft. And then these other guys who were top 10 picks, who you're like
I mean,
second year,
yeah,
not
they
third
are going to
year.
carry on getting really top draft picks though for the next couple of years. But it feels like they could at least be going in a positive direction, even if they're not necessarily winning a lot more games. Feels like they
Well, you should.
may actually be able
I,
to start moving
I
forward.
agree. I agree. They could actually become better at some point. But
Yeah,
then I guess my point is, well, they absolutely should be getting better because that's how the whole system works. Is if you
yeah,
insist on being rubbish all the time,
yeah.
you're
But I
meant
mean,
to get the best young players.
yeah, that's
Like,
the
unless you manage to be the Suns, and that's my concern here is like, well, it's time for these guys to do it because the Suns have had this. The Suns have had rosters with young players for a few years, and it just didn't work. It was like, well, you keep promising that they're young players that are going to get better, and they didn't. And actually, the Suns have started being good because they signed some veterans. They got Ricky Rubio and Aaron Baines, and they picked up Dario Saric, and they've got NBA
yeah.
players playing their minutes.
They've actually been really good, haven't they? The only two games they've lost, they've were like by 1 point.
Yeah, I was writing an article the other day. I don't know if it's changed now. There were three teams in the top 10 on offensive rating and defensive rating: the Suns, Heat, and Bucks.
I've got it here. Apparently they're 10th and 5th now, but that's still pretty good. They're
That's where they were
yeah.
before. That's where they were before. Yeah, top 10 on both.
Oh, top 10. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think we're done for
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I
Um,
agree.
have you got much NBA content going up on the website at the moment?
Yeah, some. We've got a Kyrie Irving article coming out on Saturday.
Yeah. Is that it?
And yeah, we're gonna have a couple more things, I think.
Hopefully.
We had a most disappointing teams article recently, which features a couple of teams we discussed on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Well, we discussed almost all the teams, to be
And
honest. So,
yeah, there's
yeah.
also a look back. I'm just looking at the recent stuff we've had out. I did something on the Warriors' guaranteed bright future, and we had a story of Joel Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay. Check that stuff out. Anyone who is
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.